Welcome back to India Global Forum, and really pleased now to be taking you into a series of conversations about the future of electric mobility and how it will impact the urgent action we need on the climate. We know that electrification is now beyond aspiration. It is becoming a reality, cleaner, smarter, and better for the planet. But we also know we have to increase investment in order to make larger contributions towards infrastructure. So let's get into thinking about this. I'm really pleased to, first of all, be joined in conversation with the Minister of Road, Transport and Highways of India, Nitin Gadkari. Thank you so much for joining us, Minister.
Thank you.
So tell me, first of all, what is India's current strategy on electric mobility?
Actually, India is importing the petroleum products more than we are spending 8 lakh crores for that. And actually, because of that, the air pollution is a big crucial problem in the country. So now our policy is import substitute, cost effective, pollution free, and preferably our size of automobile industry is 6,50,000 crore. And we want to make India as a manufacturing hub, number one hub of electric car, electric buses, electric two-wheelers, electric auto rickshaw, and even going for electric truck. On the line, we are making a lot of experiments, making research. Many organizations are doing a lot of work on it, on that line, and now we are successfully started manufacturing e-vehicles. So 100% government is encouraging them, giving special incentives for that. The GST on electric vehicle is very, very less as compared on petroleum and diesel vehicle. It is 48%, and here it is comes to 5%. So naturally, lot of support from the government side. And now my ministry has taken a decision for the scrapping policy. The vehicles, those who have completed 15 years, we are now making mandatory to scrap them. Because of that, the raw material can be easily available and we can reduce the production cost. The technology is available, particularly the vendors and ancillary industries are already there. We have already started research on zinc ion, aluminum ion, and steel ion. And we are also working on the line for making of hydrogen fuel cell. That is also a priority sector for all of us. And electric vehicle, we are, as far as the lithium ion battery is concerned, we don't have lithium. But now 86% of the battery we are already successfully making in India is successfully we are doing. So on the basis of that, we are encouraging, and I'm confident that we will get good support from the manufacturers, the MSME. As a Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Industries, we are very keenly interested to support them and encourage them for completing our future related with the e-vehicle. That is the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat of our Prime Minister on that line. We are supporting them, and 100% I am confident that we will get good results.
Tell me about the impact you think it will have on pollution and therefore on health.
Actually, because of the pollution, we are facing a lot of crucial problems related with the health. The diesel and petrol is really a problematic situation. And presently, we are already committed as far as the United Kingdom is a strategic partner for India on climate change and sustainability. We strongly believe that society should be livable, workable, and sustainable for all, with an import focus on ethics, ecology, and environment. And as far as India is also committed and progressing positively as per Paris Climate Agreement. And that is very important, where efforts are centered to reduce carbon emission by 33 to 35% by 2030. On that line, this e-vehicle policy is very, very important. The United Kingdom is also working hard to reduce its carbon emission to net zero by 2050. We are also working on the same line, and the air pollution, water pollution, and sound pollution. These are very crucial problems. As far as our commitment for ecology and environment regarding air pollution, we are facing a lot of health problems. So we have a highest priority that how we can protect the health of the common man and giving a sustainable life to them. On that line, we are very much punctual and very much assertive, and at the same time, we want to make it as early as possible. That is to be import substitute, cost effective, pollution free, and we want to develop Indian technology innovation here in India as far as the e-vehicles are concerned.
So let's talk about what part of the electric vehicle supply chain you think that India can have the largest market share of. Is it the whole vehicle or parts of vehicles as well?
The government is supporting domestic manufacturing and encouraging localization of all EV parts. Now, the battery in EV is the most important component which shares 50% cost of an e-vehicle. I had recently chaired a meeting to push research and development efforts towards alternative battery technology for electric vehicles, such as metal ion, metal air, and at the same time zinc ion, aluminum ion, and steel ion also. We are making a lot of experiments. And now our research is on the final stage where I am confident that we will get good results from that. The research and academic institutions in India are working hard for the development of indigenous and low-cost battery technology for electric vehicles. We can generate 81% value of lithium-ion battery in India. Further, I am pursuing research for its substitute, such as aluminum ion, zinc ion, sodium ion batteries. Simultaneously, we are aggressively pursuing research on green hydrogen as a transport fuel. The Chennai IIT is doing a lot of experiments. The research performed by IIT Madras, that is Chennai, on hydrogen fuel cell is very interesting, where they are trying to generate energy from sea-based salt water and solar power. So I'm very much confident that on that line we are working because that is the need of the country. And this futuristic development is very, very important as far as our ecology, environment, and economy is concerned. And government is insisting on it.
So if I were an aspiring entrepreneur and I wanted to set up an electric mobility business, what would India offer me that any other market wouldn't?
India's EV sector has been rapidly growing over the last 3 years, as both the center and state government have been taking initiative to promote the adoption of EVs. About 8 billion US dollars, that is rupees 51,700 crore, has been allocated for the domestic auto industry through a production linked incentive PLI scheme, and this scheme will make the component and auto industry highly competitive for improving the quality. We have allocated 3 billion, that is rupees 18,100 crore, for advanced cell chemistry battery storage. Our premier engineering institutes are including promising startups for EVs. Many startups are providing e-bikes on rent to public and logistic companies. The Amazon has changed completely their all type of fleet on electric. So that is to be a great thing in India. The government is planning to set up a financial institution to fund business with a focus on electric vehicles and facilitate new financial instruments for lending to public transportation and commercial vehicle segments. We are very positive, supportive, flexible, time-bound, and transparent towards ease of doing business in the EV ecosystem.
So let's talk about some of the policies that you've implemented. There's an FAME 2 policy, which really helps to get faster adoption among the 2 and 3 wheelers. And that's a different approach than what you've taken for the subsidies for 4-wheel passenger vehicles. So tell me a little bit about that and shed a little light on why you've taken that approach.
We have a huge domestic demand for 2-wheelers, as it is the most popular affordable means of personal transport. Presently, our 2-wheeler industry, the Bajaj, TVS, and Hero, they are exporting their 50% of the production to the world. So our 2-wheelers are very popular. The auto rickshaws play an important supplement in last mile connectivity in city areas. Our auto rickshaw are also popular in the particular African countries. We are exporting a lot of auto rickshaw there. Our rural transportation is dominated by auto rickshaw and 2-wheelers, where we can replace them by e-vehicles. Through FAME 2 scheme, the government is also offering a subsidy of rupees 32,000 for electric 2-wheelers and also rupees 3 lakh for electric cars and rupees 35 lakh for buses. So we are constantly supporting the e-vehicles. And now the most important thing is, as far as the fuel is concerned, Indian situation, we are power surplus. And compare rate of the diesel, petrol, and gas. LNG, CNG, as compared with electricity, it is very negligible. It is import substitute, cost effective, pollution free. And from maintenance point of view, it is also very cheaper. There is no maintenance in e-vehicle. So 100% I'm giving the example. On the Mumbai, the best is the bus service company, where diesel bus, they get the average expenditure for diesel bus is 115 rupees per kilometer. And for electric air conditioned bus, the expenditure is 50 rupees per kilometer. So 100% it is economically viable. And that is the most important reason that people are taking the advantage of it. Recently, the Delhi government incentivized EV by offering an additional subsidy of rupees 30,000 for e-two-wheeler and up to 1.5 lakh for electric car. The total number of electric two-wheelers in India are about 3 lakhs and the number are increasing rapidly. This can be easily charged at home and they have a very low operational and maintenance cost. OEMs in India such as TVS, Bajaj and Hero Motor Corporation are exporting 50% of their two-wheeler production with huge domestic demand and adoption. The ecosystem for small electric vehicles is very well developed in India. Now the battery capacity, driving range and charging mechanism of electric cars are significantly improving. Our Indian company Tata Nexon EV become the largest selling electric car in the country. Global giants such as Tesla and Triton EV are soon expected to enter in the Indian market, electric vehicle market, and more such EV makers would make the price competitive. After the successful rollout of the vehicle scrapping policy, I am sure that the more people would prefer to buy efficient electric cars. And the government is thinking to give significant incentives to EV buyers who scrap their old IC engine cars. Above all, we are very much concerned about the environment and whatever is good for it, we are ready to adopt on priority because it is in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the society, and where the pollution is the big concern as per the health problems are concerned, 100% we are very much committed for that.
So I know that you've looked at electric vehicle policies all over the world. Do you think India has done enough to encourage adoption in India yet?
Center and state government in India have been taking various initiatives to promote the adoption of EVs. We are giving highest priority for that. We are actively working to support EV industry by framing a favorable policy in the form of incentives, GST exemptions, etc. Our FAME 2 scheme with an outlay of rupees 10,000 crores supports electric 2 and 3-wheelers, e-buses and 4-wheelers with incentive for commercial registration. Government has increased subsidy by 50% to rupees 15,000 per kilowatt hour on electric two-wheelers to promote its sale. The government has facilitated the sale and registration of 2 and 3-wheeler electric vehicles without batteries to reduce their upfront cost. The government has exempted e-cart, e-rickshaw from various permits. We have also exempted battery-operated transport vehicle for paying registration fees to further incentivize the EV sale. Further, though financial institutes such as incentives such as 5% central taxes, that is GST, on EVs and exemption on interest paid on loans, we are taking major steps to assist EV adoption in India. All the regulation for the manufacturing of electric vehicles are also in place. We are soon planning to bring in incentives for construction equipment vehicles to be shifted on electric. Actually, I'm going to organize the meeting with the construction equipment manufacturing company. Already the JCB, which is from UK, India, they convert one JCB by using CNG, 50%. I request them to convert it on 100% CNG. So as a road minister, we are trying our level best at how we can change our construction equipment on electric, ethanol, bio-CNG and LNG. And because the pollution is the big concern. So 100% every side. Now we have got a lot of generators. And presently generators are working on diesel. In place of diesel, we are now trying to convert generators on electricity, generators on ethanol, and particularly the green fuel and biofuel, because we need to think about pollution. Pollution is a crucial problem, and we have given a highest priority for that. And that is our big concern as far as our health problem is concerned.
So apart from the electric vehicle, oh, sorry, go ahead.
All the regulation for the manual electric vehicle are also in place, and we are soon planning to bring in incentives for construction equipment vehicle to be shifted on electric. Through the Go Electric campaign, the awareness about the benefit of e-mobility and its early adoption in the general public is nicely expedited. We are getting a very warm response from citizens in the adoption of EVs. With further development in the EV ecosystem, government will take necessary steps from time to time in the interest of all concerned stakeholders. I am telling you, in Nagpur, in my own constituency, I am only using electric car. And many ministers are also now using electric car. So 100% now, day by day, our concept of electric car is becoming very, very popular. And I am confident that people by and large, the huge Indian market is available and 100% they will go on that line.
So apart from the electric vehicle market, what would you say are the 2 or 3 big new opportunities for investors in India?
Being a transport minister, the government has set a target to build road worth rupees 15 lakh crore over 2 years. My aim is to construct a world-class national highway network and road infrastructure in the country. Our road construction is highest in the world, a national highway construction. When I taken charge, it was 13 kilometers per day, but now it is 37 kilometers per day. We are making 22 green express highway. We are making big green access control highway between Mumbai to Delhi, where you can easily go from Mumbai to Delhi within 12 hours. We have already successfully completed Delhi to Meerut. In place of 4.5 hours, now it is 45 minutes. We can go up to the Meerut. The Delhi Dehradun, 2 hours. Delhi Haridwar, 2 hours. And Delhi Chandigarh in 2 hours. Delhi Jaipur in 2 hours. So we are making lot of new roads, new green alignments, by which we are encouraging for good infrastructure, and that is going to be helpful for the e-car also. We are e-buses, 100% it is going to support that policy. And now I am planning for making of e-highway, where the cable, electric cable will be there, a charging system will be there, and electric truck, electric buses, we are 100% taking the advantage of it, and we are working on that. Our target is we are trying to make it that, talking with the companies. We have talked about the plan of monetizing the existing highway asset or infra capital generation. We are doing excellent job. Our toll income is very nice. We are constructing 65,000 kilometers of national highway under the Bharatmala program. We are developing 22 green express highway, access control express highway. To improve the logistic efficiency is very important. We need to reduce the logistic cost, and the highway is going to make a good, very, very important role in that line. Government is developing 35 multimodal logistic parks and allied ecosystems. There are huge opportunities in the installation of intelligent transport system, advanced traffic management system, centralized traffic control system, IoT, and AI-based driver information system, electronic road safety intervention, GPS-based toll collection, and logistic management system. We have planned to install an electric highway between Delhi to Mumbai expressway. That is, our planning is there. We are working on that. We have planned to shift public transport and logistics on alternative green and clean transport of fuels. We are also working on more sustainable transport system like broad gauge, metro rail, ropeway, cable car, rail, and road train bus. Now the Prime Minister has already given me a special responsibility for public transport electricity for this metro rail. No, metro is a broad gauge, meter gauge, but the rope, cable car, vernacular railway, road train bus is now with me, and we are trying to develop that. The new public transport mode like Hyperloop, pod, and drone taxis, etc., is also gaining interest in the country. We are seeking for planning and development of integrated transport system where road, air, water, and new advanced last mile connectivity modes would enhance case of mobility across the country. We are also ready to welcome investment in technology that run on biofuels, such as flex engines. We are committed to deliver flex engines that give the users an option to run on either 100% petrol or 100% bioethanol. Our agriculture is our real strength, and we intended to diversify that into energy and power sector. Investment of these themes will be very, very welcome. We are allowing 100% FDI. In the road sector, there is a great opportunity for joint ventures. We are ready to adopt the world's best technology without compromise with quality, cost effectiveness, and sustainability in road construction, in automobile sector, everywhere. So we are very much encouraging the people for that, and I am confident that people are giving good response. And being a MSME minister, micro, small, and medium industries, we are committed to development of village, tribal, rural, and agriculture economy, and 115 aspirant districts. People here are educationally, socially, and economically backward. Their GDP contribution is very less. There are huge untapped resources. With appropriate technology, investment, and skill development, we have tremendous potential for new industry development and opportunity for export. Currently, the export share of for MSME is 49%, and I am targeting to increase it up to 60%. The agriculture sector is one of the important assets where the government is taking initiative to double the income of farmers through modernization. Khadi and village industry turnover is rupees 2 lakh crore, which is targeted to be double in the next 2 years. I invite the industry and entrepreneurs to come forward. We will support them. We are welcoming them, and we will encourage them and cooperate them in India for the new technology and investment.
You mentioned that you quite often use an electric vehicle yourself, and I have one. And one of the things that's the hardest, even in London, is to find a place to charge it. So tell me what steps you're taking in India to address this issue around charging infrastructure.
There are no benefits in the development of the EV ecosystem based on coal-based energy sources. The government is promoting two important measures to manage the EV charging load. The first measure promotes the use of renewable energy to charge electric. We are using solar power. Our solar power generation is very huge. Lot of thousands of projects are now. We are encouraging people for making solar energy. And idea is using solar energy for charging of e-vehicle. The first measure promotes the use of renewable energy to charge electric vehicles, which will reduce the load on transmission and distribution network. Faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid electric vehicles, FAME 2, links renewable energy sources with electric vehicle charging infrastructure. The second measure includes introducing the time of day charge for EV charging, and we have abundant solar energy, solar generated electricity charges. We are very low and ensure a zero carbon emissions cycle. Government has permitted to set up EV charging points across 69,000 petrol stations in the country. For charging infrastructure, domestic charging and lease models for EVs are becoming a popular option. Domestic charging facility at malls, parking lots, commercial places, at homes are making EVs more adoptable. Suresh Bhatt Sabhagro in Nagpur, in my constituency, we have 1,100 car parking, and where we are already making the facility for EV charging. EV makers are providing different charging technology for changing, like charging box, battery swapping facility, and some of them are establishing own network of commercial charging stations. We are working on alternative charging option through utilizing the existing electrification infrastructure at metros, railways, solar parks, etc. And we are giving highest priority for that we want to use solar energy for e-vehicles.
What about integrating the charging infrastructure into clean grids? Is that a consideration for India at this point?
Clean grids with solar.
Actually, we want to use solar energy for that. We have a lot of projects where we are encouraging the entrepreneurs for making solar energy, and that solar energy we want to use for e-vehicle, because the carbon emission is zero. And that is exactly important for the country, that we don't want to use electric power, particularly the thermal power, that will not be appropriate. In some part of the country, particularly the hill area like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Kashmir, Arunachal, and northeast of area, the hydropower is available, which is very cheaper. So where there we can use hydropower for e-charging. And at the same time, the wind power is also available in the part of the country where we are making now hybrid project of solar and wind. And we want to use green power priority wise for e-vehicle. We have got already a lot of projects on coal, but we are not going to encourage the coal power because that is going to create pollution. So green Actually, green approach is concerned, we need green power, and to encourage and generate more green power and using of that power for e-vehicle is ultimately our mission, and that is exactly the policy of the government.
You spoke about the challenge of lithium supply, and we know that China has a large majority of this, of the world's lithium supply. So I wonder if you could talk a little further about that and what any alleviating factors might be.
I am telling you very frankly and fairly, I don't want to compare our policies, our incentives, our development with the other countries. But I am sure that the way in which our research organizations are working, I am confident we will become number one in the world. And our technology are very, very cheaper. Now we are making 86% of the lithium-ion battery in India. I recently chaired a meeting to push research and development efforts towards alternative battery technologies for electric vehicles such as metal ion, metal air, etc. Our research on academic institutions, ISRO, DRDO, IITs are working hard for development of indigenous and low-cost battery technology for electric vehicles. And 100% our startup, young talented engineers, they are making a lot of experiments. In due course of time, we will have a solution. Our IIT Chennai, Madras is working on hydrogen fuel cell, and they are making hydrogen from seawater by using solar power. So a lot of the initiative has taken, government is very supportive. We are a facilitator, we are supporting all of this new research. And in due course of time, it is my confidence and it is my also challenge that we will make India number one in the world as far as this alternative technologies are concerned related with the e-vehicles. Regarding the battery chemistry also, our IITs, ISRO, all people are doing excellent jobs. 100% I am confident due course of time, within a year, we will offer a lot of good solutions and good affordable technology to the whole world. And my dream is to make India as number one manufacturing hub, automobile hub in the country, in the world. Presently, we have all reputed brands in the world, Mercedes, BMW, all are present in India. And 100% Indian manufacturing company also doing excellent jobs because this is the futuristic policy of the government. And because of Atmanirbhar Bharat, our policy is to reduce our import. And that is because of at the same time, we need to save our country from the pollution. Because of the import of petroleum products, we are facing the problem of pollution. So the import substitute, cost effective, pollution free, and making India, make in India, made in India, indigenous technology. I am confident that 100% we will offer our technology and solution to the whole world. And if anywhere there is appropriate technology, our industry is ready to make a joint venture with them and also ready to accept that technology for investment and for technology. Our doors are open. You are all welcome to enter in India for making new collaboration and giving new technology. We are ready for that.
Can you talk about the cost? We know that during the pandemic, some of those people who had entered the middle class, who had jobs, have now lost their jobs. Do you think the average consumer could confidently afford to buy an electric vehicle today?
One thing is correct that we are facing the problem of because this pandemic, the COVID-19. But today India is 100% by considering all this problem. I am confident that we are still successful making road construction. We are the highest in the world to make 37 kilometers per day national highway. Though there was a COVID problem was there. I am confident that there are problems. We are facing very crucial problem because of COVID-19. Now the vaccination is going on. I am confident that we will win over that problem. And today India is becoming the largest EV market for electric two-wheelers, three-wheelers and cars. The most important strength with India is there is a huge market potential, domestic market potential available in India. Lots of incentive, tax exemption, loan facilities, subsidies are making EV affordable purchase. For a life cycle period, EV should bring more saving compared to the petrol diesel vehicle. Many municipal corporations and state transport undertakings are procuring and operating e-buses for their intercity and intracity fleets. It would become a viable option. Lots of companies are making electric trucks, electric bicycles, e-bikes are getting popular. E-bikes are also becoming popular. I have just launched one e-bike, Indiana from Hero Industries. It's a very beautiful bike, and their plan is to export e-cycle to all the world. Its quality is good, and the research they are doing in Germany and UK, and the e-bicycle is very good. So 100% that is also the important market for all of us, and Hero is doing excellent job on that line. E-commerce business deliver taxis, small carts, goods vehicles, forest vehicles are shifting to. I'm already giving the example of Amazon. Amazon India started their e-deliveries through electric vehicles. Recently, I have launched the first ever agriculture tractor run on bio-CNG, and soon I am launching a tractor run on 100% electricity. We are also insisting industry to develop construction equipment operating on electric. In the next 2 to 3 years, mass production of EVs will lead to the same capital cost in comparison to petrol and diesel versions today due to economics of scale. 100% I am confident that we will make it complete that target. No doubt, the indigenous battery technology, localization of EV components, and huge domestic demand would further make EV the most affordable means of transport in coming years. And I am confident that India will be the successful example for the world as far as the e-vehicle is concerned.
Thank you so much for joining us, Minister Nitin Gadkari. Thank you so much for being here with us on India Global Forum.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment to continue our discussion on electric mobility with some of the people who are helping create a reality today.